Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Indy, and today we're going to be reviewing Abiotic Facotr Console Edition. After playing Abiotic Facotr on Steam and now the PS5, I can confidently say this game is amazing. Playing as a new hire scientist perhaps is the most fun I've had in quite a while. From crafting, building, exploration, combat, and the hilarious characters, this game hits just on so many levels. The absurdness is in full effect. For instance, when a colleague who crawls around the facility on his hands and knees says things like, "I need coffee for my coffee hole," it's just hilarious. He says a whole bunch of other stuff too. It's funny. The game might look basic at first glance, but don't let its appearance fool you. This game is massive. You'll start out by crafting a few items and then learning how to power your crafting bench. And when I say bench, I mean get ready to design a complete layout because you're going to have plenty of things to power up come mid to late game. The game does a great job with how things work as far as powering benches and giving you blueprints to craft new items and so on. There is a ton in this game, and you'll discover them by finding items out in the facility. Make sure to look around every corner and check every terminal because you never know where a new crafting recipe might be lurking. That or a massive dog. Does that dog bite? That's just what we call the peccaries in the game. They're dogs. The combat starts off pretty basic, just like the crafting does. You make a club, you bash an enemy with the club, and again, come mid to late game, you're going to have options, so many options when it comes to fighting enemies, and you're going to need them. Trust me, you're going to need them. But don't worry though, because your character himself gains experience in just about everything he does. You want to be great at cooking? Well, just cook often. Want to be fast? Sprint everywhere you go. Want to be tough? Well, you'll need to take some hits from enemies to thicken your skin a little. It's really cool to see how each level and how the passive perks they give you as you level up. You will be a well-rounded scientist in no time if you just, check your stats and follow along. When you're not out fighting for your life or crafting a shiny new item, you'll probably be starving or dying from dehydration. Yes, you will die if you don't eat and drink in this game. You even have to use the bathroom. So, don't poop yourself because it's kind of gross. And, just don't do that. Water isn't crazy. It's not crazy hard to find. You'll find some water coolers spread throughout the facility. But you'll want to work on a better watering source as soon as possible because those will kind of start running out eventually. The food, it can be a little tedious in the beginning, but, chopping up peccaries or buying snacks out of the vending machine is an okay way to get you by, but the peccary causes radiation and the snacks, they just don't fill you up enough. My advice, build a stove and start learning those cooking recipes as soon as possible and start growing some crops as soon as you can start growing crops because you're going to need all kinds of stuff to cook in this game. Trust me. Now, in this video, you're not even going to see even half of what we have acquired. Maybe not even a quarter of what we have acquired as we're in the late game stages now. I don't want to ruin any surprises, though, because you might, you want to come across those on your own. That is one of the best parts of this game. Trust me, it's awesome. Just when you think, well, surely this game can't go on any further, it does. And when I said this game is massive, I wasn't joking. There are I can't even talk. I'm all kinds of tongue tied today. I don't feel like a well-rounded scientist right now. But there are all kinds of NPCs all over the facility, and your end goal is trying to escape said facility because obviously things have gone very wrong inside this place. The only problem is, the facility, it just keeps on going and going and going. And not only will you be trying to find your way around this huge maze, you'll even be visiting portal worlds as well. So, yeah, it's true. Some of these are weird and mysterious, while others will just be downright crazy dangerous, So it's really kind of cool. Not knowing what to expect whenever you jump through these portals, what's waiting for you on the other side. You just never know which one you'll get, but you'll definitely want to explore these worlds to find out as much as you can. Now, I've been playing Abiotic Facotr with a group of friends, and we even rented a server so anyone could get on at any time. Otherwise, you'll need to host a server, and, when somebody gets off, whoever's hosting it, everybody else has to get off. I get why they don't have, official servers, because of the story and how everything's tied together and all that stuff. But I highly recommend playing with friends either way. Your experience is going to be that much better playing with friends. And plus, who else is going to pick you up when you get down by an enemy? Seriously though, this game is hilarious with friends. It's just so much fun. For instance, during a confrontation with a big robot, the robot picked me up and started running away with me. Panic ensued. It was chaos. And before I knew it, the robots threw me in jail while everybody was screaming. All my friends, they watched this happen, and they just could not stop laughing because I got incarcerated by a big giant robot. You'll get these type of moments all throughout this game. Even in listening to Dr. Mance explain ridiculous events that have happened, or stumbling across NPCs in these crazy places, all this stuff is going to crack you up. It's comical, and if you don't find this funny, then I guess you just don't have a sense of humor to begin with. I have to say, the game also, it just works incredibly well for, the most part. You remember the robot I just talked about? Yeah, hilarious, I know, but how cool was it that he just picked me up, carried me back to a room and then locked me in it? I don't want to talk about these things too much, and I don't want to talk about the benches and all that stuff and the storage and everything, because I want you to be able to discover these things for yourself. But just know that it's really awesome how this stuff works. How you can tie them all together, and how you can have batteries and, keep them running. And there's just going to be so many things that you're going to discover. It's crazy. Now, there were a few bumps along the road on the release, but I've noticed that in recent patches, it's solved quite a few of them. So there were things like enemies being kind of half invisible and stuff and everything, but I haven't really experienced too much of this lately. All this stuff's getting patched, and it's running really well. So simply put, the game, it works pretty much the way it's intended. So, and it's pretty, I gotta say, it's really, really cool to see how all this stuff comes together. The last thing that I want to touch on is something you've heard me say a few times already. It's the sheer size of this game. It's no joke. This game to me, it has no business being this big. There's been 4 of us tackling this game since it released. We've had someone on every single day, and we still haven't beaten the game. I've heard that it takes upwards to 200 hours to beat this game. I know that one of my friend is closing in on that 200 mark. The world building here is freaking awesome. I mean, it really is. So many of the sectors, they tie in together, and you have this team system that you'll have this tram system that you'll be able to like unlock. And but I swear, even though you have all this stuff and how everything ties together, you start thinking, well, it just can't keep going on. It just can't keep going further. You can't keep going down paths, and it does. It just does. I mean, I would love to show you some of these amazing areas, that we've been discovering, but that's the whole thing that's cool about it, is you keep going and you unlock a new area, and it's awesome. I mean, you'll come up to a ledge and you'll look off into the distance and wonder, well, can I get over there? And yes, you can. You can get over there. You'll be over there at some point, trust me. And you'll find like cold places and hot places and radioactive places and just so on and so on. And I mean, again, you need to explore these places, to progress the game and unlock stuff and unlock areas. And, you're going to need a keypad, hacker at some point, to be able to progress and get through this game, and you'll have to upgrade that keypad hacker to get to more areas, and you'll keep doing this and unlocking more areas. And, it's wild, because every area you're going to find new things, and it's going to be different. You're going to find new crafting materials, and you're going to, I would say the enemies don't change crazy, but there is still quite a variety of like the way the enemies look and, where they're at in the worlds and all this stuff. And there's going to be out of this world enemies that you're not going to be able to defeat. And it's just, it's awesome to see and explore, and it's goofy. It's just a goofy adventure that you're going to have. And hopefully you have it with a few friends. Abiotic Facotr is a massive facility exploring game with fantastic humor, great crafting mechanics, better than expected survival mechanics, just outright silly combat, and tons of story to discover. So much story to discover in this game. Trust me. Not only is this game full of crafting items, I mean, way more than I could have ever imagined. The world building is some of the best I've ever seen. The NPCs and enemies are spread throughout the facilities. It's just perfect. It's just awesome. The map design is next level. And I don't think that I'm like reaching here when I say it's the way that this game's put together with the map and stuff and everything. It's some of the best that I've ever experienced playing a game like this. And I don't think it's a bold statement to say I hold Abiotic Facotr right up there with some of the great survival games. Thank you so much for watching. I've been putting a lot of time into this game. My friends have put in a ton of time. They say constantly, man, I cannot believe how big this game is. This is crazy. I never would play a game for this long. This is the longest game that I've ever played, for one time and all. And just, I mean, we've had a blast. Me and my friends, we've had a great time with the game. They've had a better time with the game than I've had. Like, to me, that's kind of crazy. I'm the one that got them into it. And they've been having just so much fun with the game. And it's really cool to see, it really is. But I've enjoyed it so much. It's been awesome. I can't wait to beat it, I really can't. I can't wait to beat it. But, yeah, again, don't let the like graphics or whatever fool you. This game is awesome. So if you're into like survival and stuff and crafting and all that, you know, check this game out. Like seriously, check this game out. But thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, you know, give it a thumbs up, whatever. Yeah, go check out this game. Go check out this game.